stream. So that's ready to go. Hold on. Okay, you're ready to go.
All righty. Good afternoon and welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment for Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Ms. Shannon Davis, please call the roll.
Mayor Jones.
Present.
Comptroller Green.
Here.
President Green.
Present.
All are present.
Thank you. Our agenda is as follows. Items presented for the first time. Item number 1, request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of contracts and leases for various city departments as listed on Exhibit A. Item number 2, request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of intra-departmental and interdepartmental transfers from various city departments as listed on Exhibit B. Item number 3, request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of transfers between projects for capital improvement funds as listed on Exhibit C. Item number 4, request from the Director of Personnel for approval of the following changes to their table of organization. Change 5 Human Resource Generalist Senior positions to Human Resources Specialist Senior positions. Item number 5, request from the Executive Director of Community Development Administration for approval of the following changes to their table of organization. Delete 1 Grants Administrator position, add 1 Accounting Coordinator position. And item number 6, request from the Director of Human Services for approval of the following changes to their table of organization, add 1 additional Contract Compliance Officer position. That is our agenda as released. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Shannon Davis, please call the roll.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Comptroller Green.
Aye.
President Green.
Aye.
All are in favor.
Great. Is there any additional business to discuss?
Madam Mayor, if I may, I mentioned a week ago that I would mention an item, and I'll just have a brief statement that I'll read to you, if you don't mind. Last Tuesday at the Board of Aldermen, I reported that 4 months ago, after my first urgent report to the Board of Aldermen, it appeared that multiple ineligible businesses were still in line to receive ARPA-funded Northside grants. These time-sensitive ARPA funds are intended by federal law, as you know, to address continuing pandemic-related recovery efforts. Any and all grants to eligible businesses should be awarded and distributed immediately without any further delay. I support that. However, both my office risk assessment report that was presented and SLDC's own outside accounting firm recommended that the city prioritize long-term Northside businesses for the grants. No vacant lots, not abandoned structures, and certainly not a business that's not licensed. But I'm sorry to say that when that good advice was given, it was ignored, and that put the city of St. Louis at a high risk of loss and abuse of these federal dollars. So today, Madam Mayor and Madam President, I'd like to do something that's a bit unconventional, but I would like to move that SLDC is ordered to immediately freeze any and all grants to ineligible businesses to avoid putting federal funds at risk of loss and abuse.
There has been a motion. Is there a second? Madam Comptroller, it seems that you don't have a second for your motion.
Well, I thank you for your consideration. I think the motion made is to send a message that this honorable board, if we have taken it up, is committed to do the right thing with these COVID relief funds to avoid any appearance that we would want to have these funds put at risk of loss, risk of abuse. This board has the capacity to speak on it and to actually take the action that I'm asking. Failure to do that is, I understand that you're saying that that's what we have today, Madam Mayor. A failure to act on
Well,
behalf of our city.
There's no failure to act, Madam Comptroller, because President Green and I don't agree with your motion. You were sent a message from SLDC back in January to join an advisory committee to review the grants that have been subsequently issued to the community, and you have yet to respond. So you've been invited to be at the table multiple times and have not responded. SLDC has already issued over 2/3 of the grant funds that were awarded, that were included in the bill of the $37 million that was supposed to go to North St. Louis. And in order to, in my opinion, pausing is not an option. Armanino, which is a auditing firm that has audited your office and many other offices around the city, is a reputable company, and they have done the due diligence related to this program, and have also found that SLDC can continue issuing the grants, and they are still a part of issuing any subsequent grants. So we believe that we will continue to issue these grants because we don't think that North St. Louis should wait. They deserve these funds. They have deserved these funds for many years. As we know that the neglect and investment has happened over the last several decades. And so we're going to move forward. SLDC is going to continue to issue the remaining approximately $10 million for the other grants that are still being vetted. But we're going to move forward.
Madam Mayor, I do ask that we move forward. As you heard in my statement, and I don't believe I need to read it again, but I did want to say, as I did earlier, that all eligible grants should be issued immediately. So
And they will be.
And
they will be. There is a
mentioned
process
that
for them to be
there were
issued.
2/3 of the grants already issued. And I would imagine you're saying that they have been distributed in January or prior to this date, Madam Mayor. You stated that. I'm unaware of that. I'm only aware of 2.5 million that has been issued in total. We are not aware, and if you wouldn't mind asking SLDC to send me the grants that have been further issued, because I have been hearing and receiving requests that those eligible for the grants should receive them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought this up. I am bringing it up for that reason, as well as being alerted that on the portal still remains ineligible businesses. And so today, I would like to say that an immediate freeze would be in order. But of course, you're saying that because I didn't get a second, that you and Madam President disagree that the motion to bring to the point here to freeze ineligible businesses from receiving a grant, that is not what you want to take up. So to say other than that is something that I'm unaware of, but I am aware, Madam Mayor, of a request that SLDC has asked of my office to participate in an advisory board, as you have mentioned. And we have decided instead to take up our charter responsibilities to audit, and that is what we are doing, to audit the ARPA grants contracts. And if there are grants that have been issued, as you say, in addition to those that we have been aware of and posted on the portal, then those, Madam Mayor, we will take a look at as well.
Well, I'm confident in saying that no ineligible business has received a grant from the North St. Louis Corridor Grant Program. And if you want some totals, 167 capacity building grants have been issued to date for $742,500. 80 stabilization grants have been issued for $1.185 million. There are 2 that are going to be approved tomorrow for an additional $30,000. Operational expansion grants, 93 of those have been issued for $3.3 million. An additional 27 will be approved tomorrow at the SLDC board meeting for another $940,000. And community enhancement grants, 15 of those have been funded to date for $10,191,855. An additional 10 for $6.4 million will be approved tomorrow at the SLDC board meeting. So in total, 390 grants have been fully vetted and verified for $22,800,855. And that's 355 grants funded to date of 15 million and 39 to be approved at tomorrow's board meeting for 7.3 million. We have also rescinded 35 grants in total of $4.7 million. 20 of them rescinded to date for $2.2 million. An additional 15 will be rescinded tomorrow for $2.4 million for a total of $4.7 million. So we have, SLDC has done a tremendous job in vetting the businesses. And as people are aware, when that initial list came out, it was a pre-approval list. It was conditional and conditional upon additional vetting. Just like when you apply for a house and you are pre-approved for the loan, you still have to prove that you have the capacity to pay that loan. So SLDC has gone through the process of, with the help of Armanino, to additionally vet these businesses. President Green, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Jones. First thing I wanted to say is I want to commend Mayor Jones on taking bold action to invest in North St. Louis. With the approval of the Board of Aldermen, this board, the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, Mayor Jones did something that no mayor has done before, strategically investing millions of dollars in the north side of the city of St. Louis, which is often overlooked. While I originally shared some of Comptroller Green's and other residents' concerns regarding the rollout of the Northside Grant Program, the recipients highlighted by media outlets have either been rescinded from the conditional awardee list, are still pending, or have been contacted regarding changes. And in November, a third-party auditor found the grant application process to be largely fair, consistent, and legal. I really appreciate SLDC reaching out to involve our office in the advisory committee. These are, it is a way to make sure that we are exercising our oversight authority and oversight powers throughout this process. And through participating in that oversight committee, we were able to get clarity that the SLDC board has approved 3 rounds of funding for dozens of Northside businesses. That part of SLDC's vetting process has been to ensure that funding is not going to ineligible businesses. And as I said previously, in November, a third-party auditor found the grant application was fair and met federal guidelines and local requirements, and that those businesses that were flagged in recent reports have been removed from the conditional awardee list. And as a result, as Mayor Jones said, after tomorrow, there will be $4.7 million that will be reallocated because they were found to go to ineligible businesses. And so these are all things that we were able to learn through participation in that advisory committee and through using our oversight authority. Personally, I think that residents in North St. Louis have been asked to wait for too long. And in this case, we often see that when we say wait, it means never. And I don't want to put us in that position. And I think that freezing of funds and halting the program would be a mistake, because I'm confident that past issues have been remedied, are in the process of being remedied. And I'm confident that we can move forward with this funding as President and CEO Neil Richardson continues to vet recipients and refine this process. And I think that the steps that we've been taking to do that are working without the need to freeze funding going to the north side. So, with that, I just wanted to make sure that there was explanation for no not seconding the motion of the comptroller, because I think we are moving in a good direction. I think the oversight advisory committee that was created has been a way to bring some transparency and make sure all of us really understand and are able to ask questions along the way about why certain decisions are being made and how we make sure that grants are not going to ineligible recipients. So I appreciate being a part of that process, and I appreciate the work of Mayor Jones and others in making sure that we do have millions of dollars in investment going into the north side, and we're doing that in an expeditious manner. So thank you.
I want to say thank you for the discussion. It has been very pleased to hear that instead of the need for a motion to freeze all grants to ineligible businesses, there's no need, because what the mayor is reporting, as well as you, Madam President, that those ineligible businesses have been pulled out or frozen out of receiving a grant. So I want to thank you for that hard work, because certainly SLDC has followed the recommendations of the comptroller's office, as well as Ormanino, as they have a right to. Our hardworking employees in the comptroller's office will continue to monitor as is required by the federal regulations. And again, we thank you, because that was a bold move that our mayor took to invest in North St. Louis at a level such as this. And as I want to repeat once again, that not only was the Office of the Comptroller in its initial risk assessment making the bold statement to recommend that the city prioritize the long-term Northside businesses. Ormanino agreed. And if we can use those funds that have been frozen away from those ineligible businesses to honor the requests of the many overlooked long-term Northside businesses that are still waiting on COVID relief funds, I'm pretty sure that we would have some businesses that would appreciate the effort of not only the comptroller, the mayor, President Green, and all of the SLDC staff. So I just wanted to say thank you, Madam Mayor, Madam President, for the discussion, because I believe it has been fruitful, and it gives us some things to think about as we move forward with the reallocation of the funds.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Have a good day.